the Burn KC ScorchCast. I am your host, Alex Blackburn. And apologies for no ScorchCast on Sunday or yesterday. It's just been a very busy last couple of days. I got a new cat. I've been busy with schoolwork, rugby, actual work, and a whole host of other things. So it's been pretty crazy around here, but luckily Tuesday I don't have classes and can get this done. Got a little bit going on today in terms of a show. Kind of have a few things to go over. Not too much, but it'll be a good show. So let's go ahead and get started. And if you hear any commotion upstairs, I apologize. Seems like my neighbors are having a party of some sort. I have no idea. But, continuing on. Sorry. Jeez. Kansas City Blues. Pretty good weekend for them, I would say. Unfortunately, took the D1 loss this weekend against the St. Louis Bummers. 23-12. But score was a lot less close than the game actually was. It was a very hard-fought dogfight game that had a lot of critical moments that if they were to go the Blues' way, the Blues absolutely would have walked away with this one with a W. Unfortunately, sometimes the donkey dances the other way, and unfortunately this past Saturday couldn't get it done. The Blues will look to hosting Palmer this coming weekend, which they have a pretty good record against. Palmer is a solid program, but against the Blues, they do have some troubles. Should be a good game still. Come out and check it out. It will be at Victory Field at 1 p.m. This coming Saturday. And Blues D3 came away with a win against Springfield, 49-5. So a pretty convincing win there. And they will be playing also on Saturday against, I can't remember for the life of me. I believe it might be another St. Louis team, but I can't remember. I'll have to double check. But overall, a good weekend for rugby. Saw a lot of really decent play from a lot of guys that I definitely thought would make an impact, and they definitely did. So overall, a good weekend for rugby, even with the loss. So Kansas City Blues, again, we'll be back in action next weekend. Come check them out. But there's going to be some stuff that's a little bit sooner for the Kansas City Blues, and that is tomorrow. There will be a city council meeting, October 26th, for the now closed Blue River Sports Complex. Blues are trying to buy into that. They're trying to get a new field going and getting that land sold to them. Let me check and see. But basically what happens at these city council meetings is that when some land is up for sale, they will have basically a bidding war for it at a meeting regarding the land, either at a city hall meeting or a county meeting, which is actually what I'm reading now. It's going to be a county meeting with Jackson County Parks and Rec about the Blues leasing the 99th and Blue River Sports Complex. But if you are interested, go attend, because how these things are decided are by attendance. And if you want to see a rugby complex get built in terms of one that for the Blues and for all area rugby, then come to this meeting and go support the Kansas City Blues as they make this bid. I know I'll be there. as well as many players and alumni will be there as well. So go support and go see to it that the Blues get this field, because it would be huge to have this complex as a strictly rugby complex. Um, Huge, huge, huge. So it's a step in the right direction for sure. And as fundraising chair, I feel like I should put that out there. Just not only to grow the Blues, but to grow the game of rugby. And I, frankly speaking, I am very excited about this meeting and to see what's going on in terms of what's going down there at 99th and Blue River. It looks like a great complex, and it looks like it would be absolutely perfect to set up a rugby centric type of complex. So go support. It's going to be at the Casey's South Patrol Station at 9701 Marion Park Avenue in Kansas City, Missouri. So yeah, if you're interested in getting the Blues a new home, a new permanent home to where we don't have to share with Swope Park, come on down. So there's that. It's kind of it for Blues stuff. And as always, they're looking for new sponsors and everything like that as well. If you're interested, come talk to me. I am the fundraising chair, as I said. And if you're interested in sponsoring Blues, or maybe if you're interested in doing a little bit of a dual sponsorship with the Blues and the Burn, supporting your favorite podcast and sports writer as well as your favorite rugby team, maybe check it out. Maybe message me and inquire further. So, just a thought. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Chiefs recap. Like I said in yesterday's article, kind of summarized my thoughts and feelings on the Chiefs and how they played on Sunday. I thought it was a very, very good game. Obviously, it started out kind of slow, but it picked up, and our offense just beat up on the number one defense in the league, and that's pretty impressive. A lot of people are saying that, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have weapons anymore, blah, 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 blah. He's really missing Tyreek, blah, 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 blah. Those wide receivers are showing chemistry now, and they're showing that they can be more productive than Tyreek ever could be. And the best part about it all is that there's balance in this offensive attack. And I think that's huge in terms of taking the heat off of guys like Travis Kelce, off of the run game, which was also pretty good this past weekend. And overall, I think the Chiefs are finally coming into their element. I saw flashes of it during the Bills game. Obviously, it wasn't all there just because they did lose. But this is kind of what the regular season for the Chiefs is for, is kind of finding out what type of team the Chiefs are going to bring into the playoffs. And right now, I think they look pretty good. That being said, though, trade deadline is coming up. Chiefs have a bye week, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. There's been a lot of talk about the Chiefs possibly getting a trade going with the plethora of draft picks that they've got, or the capital that they do have. Guys like Brian Burns have been thrown out there. Kareem Hunt has been thrown out there as a name, which is interesting. I really don't think we need Kareem Hunt back here. But again, like names like Bradley Chubb, Robert Quinn has once again made the rounds, and a couple of defensive tackles as well. Overall, just kind of pieces to bolster the pass rush is what the Chiefs have been kind of keeping their eye on. Obviously, the news about OBJ and other wide receivers like Brandon Cooks and everything like that, that's making the rounds as well. I personally don't think, now that we're kind of developing that chemistry, that we need to throw another wrench in there. OBJ is a great wide receiver. Brandon Cooks is a serviceable wide receiver. But I don't think throwing another wrench in there is going to make us any better. Or I don't think it would make us any worse per se, but I don't think it makes this Chiefs team better. I think we do need to focus on the guys that we're currently developing right now. The Chiefs are currently developing right now. It's kind of tough to put in another piece that's going to take away from the guys that are here right now, their workload. I think that's still a very deep wide receiver room. I mean, we've got guys like Justin Watson that are good third options that are playing the fifth option in this offense, and I don't really see the point of picking up another guy just to muddle things even further. So wide receivers, I think we're good. Pass rush, I could see the Chiefs trying to pick a guy off pass rush, but honestly, I think the Chiefs are good how they are. I don't think they need to make a trade. I don't think they need to, give away that draft capital that they've got, and they can play the long game and get these younger guys some work and some development because they've got a great young core that they can build around. Yeah, maybe they won't be good now, but as I said at the beginning of the year, and as a lot of pundits said at the beginning of the year, the Chiefs are playing the long game. They've got a young roster that they're building around Patrick Mahomes, and yeah, this year may not be a Super Bowl year. I mean, you always want it to be, but frankly speaking, not every year is going to be it. Last year, a lot of people were saying that this team, that team, was better than the Super Bowl team, and I tend to agree. But unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards because Patrick Mahomes had one bad half. I mean, that's truly how unpredictable football is, and really how unpredictable sports are in general. So I can see the Chiefs making a trade for maybe some pass rush or cornerback help. Obviously, you're going to get Trent McDuffie back after the bye. He wasn't back this week because they wanted to give him a little bit more rest. But overall, I think the Chiefs are just fine if they don't do anything at the trade deadline. And obviously, you're going to have a lot of people that are like, well, why did we pick up, Brian Burns or Robert Quinn or Bradley Chubb? I can answer the Bradley Chubb question for you. It's because he's a division rival. There's no way the Broncos are that stupid. Yes, I know they paid for an system quarterback that was past his prime in Russell Wilson, but they're not a great organization, but they're not a dumpster fire yet. In the quarterback department, they absolutely are, and they've been that way since really John Elway. Yeah, they had Peyton Manning for a couple of years, and he won the Super Bowl, but it's Peyton Manning. It's not, they haven't developed a quarterback really since Elway. I mean, let's be honest here. You think Jake Plummer, who, mind you, first played for the Cardinals, you think Brock Osweiler, with the 4 games that he had that were serviceable? I mean, honestly, I'm kind of contradicting my point, but my point being is this: the Broncos are not that gullible. They're not going to trade Bradley Chubb to a division rival. I mean, straight up. In the case of Brian Burns and Robert Quinn, I think with Brian Burns, you have a situation where, yeah, the Panthers are having a fire sale, but they're going to ask a lot for Brian Burns because he's kind of the centerpiece of that defense. That defense is kind of what's keeping it all glued together over there in Carolina. Unfortunately, because they don't have quarterback play, they just lost Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, no, that defense is kind of the centerpiece of that team, and it's not even that great of a centerpiece. But I don't see the Chiefs picking up Brian Burns, maybe Robert Quinn, because with Brian Burns, it's going to be asked that that the Chiefs give up a pretty hefty sum. It's probably going to be at least 2 first-round picks for Burns. Um, and I think just if you're trying to play the long game, that's something that as the Chiefs, you're not willing to give up. I've seen Robert Quinn. I've seen his name being thrown around for possibly a 5th-round pick, maybe a 2nd and 3rd-round pick, depending on what the Bears ask for him. But I think that's the most feasible option, if anything at all. That or Sidney Jones from the Seahawks, which even then, it's kind of tough because you've got Trent McDuffie coming back. And really the only guy that I can see Sidney Jones taking over for is Rashad Fenton. And even that's kind of a stretch to bring in a completely new guy midway through the season to mesh with a secondary that's already having its own troubles meshing together. Sidney Jones really isn't that much of a veteran presence, and you kind of have to let L'Jarius Sneed take the reins and be the leader of that defense, or that secondary at least, with that or Justin Reed. And I think that is slowly but surely coming together because you're seeing younger guys perform at a higher level, like Josh Williams, like Jalen Watson, and other guys that are getting that shot. So I don't think the Chiefs need to do anything at the trade deadline. Much to the dismay of many of the media pundits out there, many of the Chiefs fans out there. Folks, the Chiefs are going to be fine. I have a hard time justifying making any big-time splash moves when you're trying to play the long game. That may not mean immediate success, but frankly speaking, we're succeeding right now, and we don't have those pieces that everybody says that we need. So I don't know. I have a hard time justifying it. But enough about the Chiefs, because their Super Bowl is in February and their championship is in February. Let's talk about a certain team that's championship is this coming Saturday, and that's the Kansas City Current. The Kansas City Current beat the Orlando Reign, Orlando Reign, 2-0 to advance to the NWSL Championship against the Portland Thorns, which is a very good squad. I don't know if a whole lot of you keep up with women's soccer, but that Portland Thorns team is pretty good, and they'll be a force to be reckoned with when they go to a neutral field in Washington D.C. to play that cup against the Current. But that's going to be on Saturday at 6 p.m. October 29th. If you can check it out, it's going to be on CBS, and it'll be a dang good game. The Current's hot right now, but the Thorns have been a long-standing team in the NWSL as a very good squad. So it'll be a tough matchup, and it'll be an exciting one too. So if you can, take your time away from some college football Saturday and go watch Kansas City possibly win another championship. Or honestly, I'm probably going to watch that over any college football Saturday because KU's on a bye. Pretty sure K-State's on a bye too, if I remember correctly. I don't care about Mizzou football enough to watch them with any sort of intent. I am a sports writer. I do watch them, I promise. But I watch them like I watch the Kansas City Royals. I go, oh, that's sad. Okay. I feel very bad for Mizzou sports fans that all they've really known for the past 10 years is pain. Aside from, a couple bright spots. But, it's kind of been a rough go for them, I would say. In terms of getting access to that game though. Like I said, it's on CBS. Um, it should be I think it said 6:30 or 6 o'clock somewhere around then. So go tune in, go watch Kansas City perhaps win another championship. It's going to be exciting times if they do. Because frankly speaking, the Kansas City Current has done so much for not only the city, but the NWSL as well. And if they win the championship this year, that'll cap off a real storybook year. I mean, with that training facility, with the announcement of the women's only stadium, one of the first of its kind. It's truly inspiring to watch this team build from the ground up and break that glass ceiling. It's exciting times to see that happen in KC. So uh, give it a watch. So got enough on that now. But let me see what else I had in the notes here. Yes. We also have some college football news. KU unfortunately lost to Baylor this past weekend. A lot of people are going to point to this game and say KU's pretending to be a good team and that they're going to go 5-7 and blah 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 blah. May I remind you that they don't have their Heisman contender, that they don't have Jalen Daniels, who is a better runner and a better passer than Jason Bean. Better runner at least this year. Yeah. Jason Bean has been serviceable, don't get me wrong. And I think if given enough time to develop, he can win games. Unfortunately, his time to develop has passed. He's a senior this year, and he's going to be gone after this year. So the same cannot be said for Jalen Daniels. I mean, the kid's only 19 years old. He's got plenty of time under his belt, and he's a really good quarterback. So I can see him coming back with a bang against Oklahoma State on November 5th. Again, KU does have a bye, so they do have time to prepare against an Oklahoma State team that did show that it's got some blemishes against TCU, where KU almost came back and won against them. Remember, with Jason Bean. So I would not count out Kansas just yet. Do I think they win out? I don't think so. But do I think they'll be bowl eligible still? Yes, I do. They will get another win. I promise you they will. Fret not. I think Lance Leipold does not Turner Gale. Let's just say that. But anyways, moving on to K-State football. They also lost against a very good TCU team. They had the lead up 28-10, but then starting quarterback Adrian Martinez got hurt, as well as I believe their second string too. So that made Will Howard come in, or Jordan Howard? Will Howard? I can't remember his name. Howard come in and kind of play for them, take the reins, and he did a decent enough job. I mean, he kept him in it. It was a game to the very end when TCU started pulling away. And like I said in the Big 12 rankings kind of review that I did for the midseason, TCU is a force to be reckoned with, and they might make a case for the college football playoff if they keep winning. The Big 12 is a tougher conference than it looks this year. It's really anybody's game. It's wide open. But I think there is a clear and present leader right now in TCU. And to watch K-State go out and take the lead against them, and to watch them play really, really well against that team is, if I'm a K-State fan, that's very encouraging. To know that you can play with the best teams in the Big 12. So, but like I said, Adrian Martinez got hurt this game. So it's very possible that we might see him out for an extended period of time. I don't think that's too much of a worry for K-State. I think they'll still have a good season. Whether he's out for 2 weeks or whether he's out for the rest of the season, I don't think he will be. But I haven't seen any updates regarding his injury recently, at least. I'll have to go check Twitter, like I forgot to do before I got on, and just see what the most recent news is with K-State football. And then Mizzou, they beat Vanderbilt on homecoming. Congrats, Vanderbilt. So, and you barely beat them. Y'all, if you can't tell, I'm a little tired of Mizzou fans talking trash against a good KU football team. Because frankly speaking, KU would wipe the floor with this Mizzou team. Y'all kept with Georgia. Congrats. But then Georgia came back and showed why they are Georgia, and they came back and whooped you. I mean, please keep our name out your mouth. That's all I ask. If y'all want to make a comment on that, go ahead. I'm all ears. But yeah, Mizzou beat Vanderbilt on homecoming. Congratulations. Hope it was a fun homecoming. I've been down to Mizzou a couple times for their homecoming. It's a decent time. Don't get me wrong. But of course, I was wearing crimson and blue for one of those times at least. The other time, I was in high school and still deciding where to go. So it was kind of hard to not go with the flow because I am a high schooler who did not want to get beat up by frat kids that I thought were tough. So anyway, going into fantasy football, though, however, let's go ahead and dive on in here. I know I lost again, so that's cool. Geez, thanks, Miller Light. I appreciate it. But I only lost by 9 against the best team in the league right now. It's encouraging, right? That's encouraging. But going into week 8. We've got a pretty tight race going on in the East, at least. Team Marigan. Well, wait, no, that's way less tight than I thought it was. Team Marigan's 5-2. We've got some pretty clear front runners. Team Marigan and then Average Joe's. Average Joe's is sitting at 6-1, and Team Marigan is sitting at 5-2. A reminder that you guys, if you win, get a $40 pot for winning the fantasy football league. We do not have a punishment for last place here because my mother's in this league, and I know what kinds of crazy things people do for last place in fantasy football. I'm not for it. I'm not for it. And I'm not saying that just because I'm in last place. Just disclaimer there. I'm not going to do anything. Well, if convinced, I will do something silly, and fun and whimsical. If I do end up getting last, which is looking more and more possible by the week, or as the weeks go on. But after the Merrigan brothers, who are rinsing through the league, mind you, we got Courtney Merrigan at 3-4, the Casey Steinleys at 4-3, Plowboys at 4-3, Berlin Twistdeckers, Brandon Elfrich 3-4, and then myself and my mother being at 2-5, and myself being at 1-6. I'll win at some point. I'll win at some point. It's fine. I didn't want to win that $40 anyway. Yeah. By the way, that's my 5th loss in a row for those keeping track. I don't know what I said in that week one recap of fantasy football, but something must have really set off the fantasy football gods because, ooh baby. At least I'm doing good in one of my leagues. I'm 6-1 in one of my leagues. So it's not all bad. Not all bad. Anyway, jeez, that's probably our show, honestly. I know it was kind of a short show, so my apologies, but it's been, like I said, it's been a long couple of days, so I didn't have as much prep time as I normally do for these shows. But hopefully you all still enjoyed. Hopefully it was still a good time and you all learned a lot along the way. More articles will be released this week. So fret not, it will still be a week filled with sports, even though the Chiefs, Jayhawks, and I think the Wildcats as well are on a bye. But fret not, I'll keep you all entertained. Don't you worry. And so will Casey Kern and the Blues. I mean, shoot, Casey Kern's playing for a championship, y'all. How about that? Seriously, it's definitely one of the most. Say what you want, about Brittany Mahomes, and she's annoying. She's writing Patrick's coaches. I'm a bitter old man. She's done so much for this city, man. And if you don't recognize that by now, and recognize that, I'm kind of being bitter that, I wasn't high school sweethearts with the best quarterback possibly to ever play in the NFL. Yeah. No, if you were in her shoes, you would react the exact same way to all of his feats. I assure you that. And for her to be a cheerful servant of KC as well, and to be this kind of beacon of progress in a way when it comes to women's athletics, not only in the KC area but in the entire U.S. Is really inspiring and encouraging. So, and just her charitable efforts too. It's you can't be mad at her. I mean, you truly can't. If you are, you're bitter and you're hateful. Get over yourself. Anyway. Sad. Anyway. That's our show, though. Again, sorry for keeping it short. Prep time was of the essence, I suppose. Sorry. Phone's blazing about the meeting tomorrow. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about sponsorships, like I said, whether that be for the Blues or the Burn, or both. In fact, you know what? I prefer both. But, either or is fine as well. Don't hesitate to contact me. I've got contact info all over the internet because nothing is private anymore. But don't hesitate to give me a shout, and we can work something out. I'm also going to be spending these next couple weeks kind of looking at ways to improve and expand the whole Burn KC brand type deal. So let me know your thoughts on that as well. What you'd like to see, what you'd like to see this community and this brand grow into, and I'm all ears because I've got a few ideas up my sleeve as well. Don't get me wrong, but I'd love to hear your thoughts as my loyal and adoring fans. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Being 100% serious about that, by the way. Seriously, I really could not do it without you guys. And to think that this started out as a passion project and is now turning into a legitimate sports news source is absolutely insane to me. So, seriously, I just feel like I'm talking at the bar to people regarding sports, but I guess you guys like that. I don't know. But seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you as always. And just let me know how I can service you better, or how I can improve this brand and improve, what I talk about, what I put out as a product, and all that good jazz. So, um, yeah, that's our show. This is Alex Blackburn of the Bird KC. Signing off. Thanks, y'all. Oh, one more thing. For those asking, I am in the process of getting SoundCloud set up. I am a dumb old man, though, when it comes to technology. So I'm kind of working my way through it. If anybody's got some advice as to how to set up a SoundCloud account, or set up a Spotify where you don't have to watch on Facebook, and can just listen, because I know a lot of you are like, oh, it's weird that I have to watch your face while listening to your podcast. My boss comes in, he's just like, what are you watching? I'm sorry. That's not. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but yeah. For some of you, you can't watch. So that's completely all right, as long as you listen, as long as you tune in. But I want to make that easier for y'all. So Spotify or SoundCloud or both will be coming in the very near future. So just bear with me, and yeah, the lighting stuff will get fixed. Unfortunately, my cat did a number on one of the cords, which is weird because he's never done that before. But I guess he just decided, oh, this is the cord I want to chew on. I don't know. Cats are weird. So, anyways, after this long, drawn-out Minnesota goodbye of an outro, this is the Burn KC. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I love you. And hashtag burn it down. See y'all next week.